Hey guys, it's Joey Gaming and welcome back to another video here on the Joey Gaming channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the unfortunate news regarding Halo and 343 Industries. If you haven't heard the news, about a week ago, Microsoft laid off around 10,000 employees, and it's insanely sad and very concerning for the future of Halo. However, due to my own research, I believe that it won't be as bad as what many of these people are saying it is. You know, this is not the end of Halo like everyone on Twitter is saying, and I will tell you why at the kind of near the end of the video. For the first part of this video, I'm going to explain the situation. If you already know, feel free to go ahead and skip ahead. So about a week ago, Microsoft, not 343 Industries, I should clear that up. A lot of people are blaming 343 for letting go 10,000 employees. That's not true. It's actually Microsoft's decision, not 343's. So I think the criticism towards 343 is kind of ridiculous, but I want to say that towards the end of the video. So what happened is that Microsoft, decided to let go not just employees at 343 Industries, but across the whole company, basically, right? Like, Microsoft fired a bunch of people all across Microsoft, right? And unfortunately, the biggest part of Microsoft, which is 343, has hit the most, right? Has the biggest staff cuts of all time. And one of the reasons why they did this, one of the main reasons why they laid off a lot of employees, and this is pure speculation, by the way. None of this is confirmed. This is what I personally think, but what I think is that 343, right? Microsoft let go of those employees, right? 10,000 of those employees, because of Halo. Because Halo right now isn't. Their numbers are not as high as Halo back in the good old days, like the 360 days, right? And sure, Halo MCC, mod support, custom game browser, all of that helps, right? And it did bring the player count up, but it's not enough to bring those numbers back up to back in their peak, back in the early 2010s, It's not millions of players playing Halo anymore, and I could see Microsoft seeing that statistic and just cutting some staff members from 343. Another reason why I believe that Microsoft cut some employees has to come down to the current recession. Right now, the world, especially the US, is going through a recession, right? And it's harder just to get paid for, No one wants to work, right? People can't find jobs and stuff. Well, I don't know about that, but it's just, I don't know, we're just going through a recession, so so money has just been really tight. Like, everyone's struggling in this new recession, right? So that's one of the factors, but it really comes down to two factors. It's just the lack of new income that 343 was bringing in, the lack of income that Halo was bringing in to the studio, which is 343, and the current recession. And that's what I believe that made Microsoft decide to cut 10,000 staff members from 343 Industries. Immediately after the firings were announced, a lot of users, a lot of Halo fans, right, were insanely concerned, right, including myself. I didn't really say anything about it because I was really, really busy at the time, but what I understand is that a lot of them are sad, and people were saying that this was the end of Halo, and 343 and Microsoft really weren't saying anything at the time. Like, 343 would eventually release an update to the situation, but that didn't really happen until like a few days later. The first employee that we're going to be talking about goes by the name of Patrick Rinden. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced his last name. I am not good at my name. Patrick used to be a former senior multiplayer designer for Halo, and he currently now works for Respawn, so I'm glad to hear that. He's on the Jedi Survivor, so I don't know. At least he's going from one sci-fi franchise to another, so that's kind of cool, so props to him. Anyways, he tweeted out, if a company has to lay off tons of people for the sake of the business, then top leaders in the studio should have their compensations cut dramatically to help ensure the future of the studio. Later, Patrick would also tweet out, for anyone affected by the layoffs today, please check out openings here at respawn.com/careers. nbrown10 is a great recruiter who can help out. Patrick would end up getting that job at Respawn, working for Jedi Survivor, so congrats to him. I'm glad that he was able to find a new job pretty quickly, so I'm happy to say that. Patrick later in the day would go nuclear on 343 by tweeting out, the layoffs at 343 shouldn't have happened, and Halo Infinite should be in a better state. The reason for both of these things is compliant leadership up top of during Halo Infinite's development, causing massive stress on those working hard to make Halo the best it can be. The people I worked every day with were passionate about Halo and wanted to make something great for the fans. They helped push for a better Halo and got laid off for it. Devs still there are working hard on that dream. Look at Forge. Be kind to them during this awful time. I think there needs to be a huge call out that there are tons of talented devs who are contractors who are all losing their jobs tomorrow and won't get severance or healthcare. Tons of people's lives are upended and need help finding new jobs. On January 20th, Patrick tweets out, lots of people have reached out to me thanking me for saying something or being brave. It points out that so many are so scared and are just trying to get by while dealing with the repercussions. That fear was there when I tweeted it, but I had to. Thread 1 out of 7. As I said, there are still amazing people working hard at 343 Industries, and I want to make sure that they are supported as they are doing their best with what is at hand to make great things. I am sure we won't agree on every decision made, but I believe in them. So I'm tweeting today with many people looking at my tweets to try and use this moment to do better things for those in the industry. I am sure my words ain't going to change much in the grand scheme of things, but it affects even a little, then it's worth it. The next day, on the 21st, the Halo Twitter account tweets out an image that says, Halo and Master Chief are here to stay. 343 Industries will continue to develop Halo now and in the future, including epic stories, multiplayer, and more of what makes Halo great. Patrick, on the same day, tweets out, wish everyone there the best for a bright future. Despite whatever issues had happened, I am damn proud of the game we shipped together. Halo was an inspiration to getting me in this industry, and should continue to do so for others. Spartans never die. That's all for Patrick Wind. If you haven't yet, go ahead and follow him on Twitter. He's an amazing game developer, and I'm going to miss him, right? He did a wonderful job on Halo Infinite's multiplayer, and I'm definitely going to miss him. I wish him the best of luck at Respawn and on the next game he's going to be making, which is Jedi Survivor. So now let's go ahead and talk about DLC for Halo Infinite. So throughout the marketing of Halo Infinite was told that it would be a game which will be expanded upon through seasons, and there was going to be campaign DLC, right? And everyone was so hyped, and Halo Infinite was going to be the game, the biggest Halo game for the next 10 years. So it will keep getting updates and updates for the next 10 years, which is absolutely incredible. During this whole controversy where, when the whole layoffs things was happening, a lot of people were concerned that, hey, was DLC got canceled or did it get scrapped, right? Apparently there was a leak or rumors, I'm not exactly sure, that said that 343 was going to focus on multiplayer more than the story, right? However, there is this tweet that says otherwise. And this was tweeted out by Peter Oven. This Twitter account tweets out by saying, Jason Snitcher, I'm so sorry if I mispronounce that name, campaign DLC for Halo Infinite was not scrapped. It looks like that leak was wrong. And then he shows this image and it says, a moment ago. I ran these bullet points by a few people. While it's true that 343 is focused on multiplayer, the stuff about campaign DLC being scrapped is false. I don't think there was much of that planned in the first place, and a lot of that is either wrong or just speculation. And honestly, that is so good to hear, but once again, I don't really know this person, so I don't know. For me, I'm kind of treating it with a grain of salt, but I'm still holding a little bit of hope for campaign DLC. Now, how does this affect the future of Halo in general? Well, first of all, I want to say that it won't be as bad as what many of these people are saying it's going to be. A lot of people are complaining and just saying how, oh, this is the end of Halo, 343 killed off Halo, and once again, guys, what I gotta keep in mind is that this is not 343's decision. This is Microsoft's decision. Remember, Microsoft owns Halo, and they own 343, so they can tell their staff that, hey, you're fired, right? Without 343 being involved, right? I'm pretty sure that 343 has no involvement in this whole situation. So, if you want to criticize someone for the firings, don't criticize 343 themselves. Complain to Microsoft. And like what I said earlier, Microsoft didn't just cut Halo Infinite staff members, right? But they cut a bunch of other staff members all across Microsoft, right? I saw this one tweet where apparently that Microsoft's cut a lot of artists, right? And they're looking into AI art, right? AI art is becoming a big thing where you could go up to an AI, right? Like ChatGPT or whatever it's called, ChatGPT, I'm not sure, and say, hey, give me a cover art for Halo, right? And then boom, the AI will create cover art for that image, right? Without having an artist, right? You know, there's a big controversy right now, rather if AI art is copyright infringement or not, right? But on the looks of things, Microsoft is developing very hard into creating AI art. And honestly, I haven't done enough research if I can't confirm that's true or not, so I don't know, treat this part of the video with a grain of salt, because what I've been hearing, Microsoft is investing a lot of resources, and they're hiring new people just for ChatGPT and AI technology, where if they don't want to hire people, they want to automate the process, right? For example, instead of hiring like an office worker going through data, right, and doing something with data, or doing whatever office job employees do or whatever, I don't know, they can have an AI or a robot do it for them, and for them that's cheaper, and they don't need to, you know, follow human laws, right, where you have to like give them breaks, or you have to pay them a certain amount if they have like this and that, you know, you don't have to give them insurance, healthcare and stuff, right? And I don't know, it's just a lot cheaper for Microsoft to have an AI and a robot do it. Once again, not sure if it's confirmed, but that's what it's kind of looking like. So all I'm saying is that Microsoft is not just cutting 343 staff, but they've been cutting staff across Microsoft as a whole. It's just 343 has been hit the hardest. Personally, it sucks that 343 lost a lot of amazing developers and artists and technical people, you know, because the more people that you have in a studio, the more likely stuff are going to get done, right? But let's look at the positives, right? 343 might be able to, you know, simplify the process. Once again, they can have like, you know what? We can have this job get done by this person or that person. All I'm saying is that, yeah, a lot of people have been gone and it's totally out of 343's control, but they can probably take that to their advantage and just change their leadership or change how they do stuff in general, right? They said, okay, well, let's create some new divisions. Let's add this to the art division. Let's do this to the coding / playtesting division. You know what I'm talking about? So they can just like change the leadership to see what works for them, you know? Because they have to adapt to this smaller change, unfortunately, right? A lot of people right now, a lot of videos that I've seen on the topic were claiming that, hey, Halo's done for. It's been killed off, right? Like 343 is done. Like Halo's dead. Like don't play anymore because it's not as good as anymore. Microsoft and 343 killed Halo, and it's totally their fault, right? And you know, part of that is true. 343 has some very valid criticisms, right? They have some criticisms that they need to address, right? Like honestly, Halo Infinite is not a perfect game. It's not one of my favorite games out there, but it is pretty good. It's like I said earlier, it's up there, but it's not the most bug-free or the most polished game I've ever played, you know? It does have problems, but Halo Infinite is improving, and just like what Patrick said earlier in those tweets, there is developers with a passion to create the best game that they want. It's just the leadership is absolute dog, you know? So hopefully, I'm not sure if this is true or not, hopefully the layoffs included some of that leadership, at 343, but chances of that being the case is not accurate, so I hope that they get better and stuff. The new director, the new leader person for Halo, I think it's the CEO of 343, I could be wrong, right? Because Bonnie stepped down from being the CEO for Halo Infinite or whatever, or the project manager for it. I'm not exactly sure, right? The person at the MCC, right, has came over to Halo Infinite to work on it. And in my opinion, that's good. I saw this one video, right? I'm not going to say who, right? But I disagreed with it heavily, right? The guy was saying that, Halo the Master Chief Collection was the worst game to ever come out, right? They should have just removed it, right? Well, no, he didn't say that, but he was saying that 343 was a disgrace to the Halo community. And you know what? He's not wrong, you know? When Halo MCC came out for the first time, it had a lot of issues, right? But over time, it came better and better. And this is where I start to disagree with this one YouTube video that I saw, right? The guy was saying that, yes, 343 has introduced polishing changes and added new features. However, it's not the true Halo experience. And I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about, right? And the dude went ahead and started complaining that, oh, that community didn't ask for new armor or weapon skins or new maps. Like, complaining to, like, this dude was just a straight up Bungie fan, dude. And I get it. You like Bungie, right? I miss Bungie too, right? I adore Bungie, right? I miss them. But what 343 has done to the MCC is awesome. We're talking about mod support, custom armors. And if you don't like the custom armors, there's a setting in MCC where you can turn them off, you know? And I get the whole criticism of the whole menus and stuff. Like, honestly, the menus could be better, right? It definitely could be better. Overall, I would say that MCC has made a awesome 180 and has become one of the best games that you can play. Like, honestly, if you don't have access to an older Xbox and you just want to play Halo, then download the MCC. Download the MCC, right? And even in some of the games like CE, right, that had like the visual errors and the visual bugs and glitches, those have been patched over the years by 343. So the new person running Halo Infinite, I have high hopes for. So I think a lot of people are just overly concerned that that Halo is doomed. Halo is not doomed, right? Because keep in mind, Halo is still bringing money to Microsoft, right? So they're not going to totally kill it yet, right? I believe that Halo has at least a few more years, right? And yes, they have a smaller pool of people, but I believe that 343 will be able to adapt. And unfortunately, this probably does mean that they are going to... Unfortunately, this probably does mean that 343 will probably have to, like, lease out work to other companies, like other studios. Like, the whole rumor that they might just be working on multiplayer and having another company do it is totally true. And is totally reasonable. Honestly, I honestly wish that 343 can be a little bit more transparent, because they have been vague in that one tweet that they sent out. They haven't been very specific, and I am a little bit concerned. Hopefully, they do continue to go down the road of with campaigns and story-related stuff. But they did say that the stories of Master Chief and Halo will continue. So, I don't know. I'm not sure if they're talking about the Halo TV show or another form of media, but I hope that includes video games. At the end of the day, this is just my opinion, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. So, if you disagree, then just let me know in the comment section below. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and see ya. Peace.